Well, hello again. I'm Dr. August Dunning. We talk about dry fasting here. And if you've never been here before, we talk about the nuances of it, how to do it safely and all that sort of stuff. Recently, a couple of studies have come out, 5-day dry fast studies with humans. like we haven't been doing that all along. But apparently everything that we expect and the Russians already know was revealed in these studies. And I'll go over that tomorrow, probably in detail, maybe from the office. But the thing is, here's the real trick. Look at this chart. This is a chart of your body in the acid state and in the regular state. And as you know, after 2 days of not eating or drinking, you end up in an acid state, in ketosis. And the reason this is so cool, this image shows the real deal here. I talked about turning on lysosomes and all that stuff. When your body is operating normally, eating normally during the day, producing, getting nutrients in, the lysosomes congregate around the nucleus because there's a lot of synthesis going on there. A lot of byproducts have to be ground up and stuff. So they're really where they need to be for your normal daily cellular operations. When you go into ketosis, look at the view on the right. All the lysosomes are migrating out to the periphery of the cell because that's where the edge of the cell membrane is. That's where exocytosis happens when you're grinding up toxins and stuff and getting rid of it. So it's just in proximity to be able to get it out of the cell in exocytosis. But it shows the problem with a lot of these people talking about dry fasting. If you think you can just do a 1-day dry fast and have any real effect, you're wrong. You may lose some weight. You may stay in autophagy a little longer, but it's not enough to get into deep autophagy like after 2 days of no eating and no drinking. A lot of people say they don't, recommend long dry fasts, but these short dry fasts are great because they don't do anything. So they don't fix anything. And it's a funny thing with medicine. My approach is figure out what's wrong with the patient, figure out what in their life, their food, their emotional state, those sort of things contribute to, and also lack of salt, by the way, those things significantly contribute to disease and not feeling well. Because I don't think in your wildest imagination you have an Ozempic deficiency or a Viagra deficiency or any kind of medical synthetic construction deficiency. You're not designed like that. Only the last couple hundred years has this mentality been going on, but here's where dry fasting comes in. Just off it goes. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any logical sense. It's just telling people what to do, not why to do it. That's the thing I hate the most. When these guys just say, you do this and do that. Well, why? Well, I don't know, but you do this or do that. Anyway, I'm kind of on a rant today. It's kind of fun. But the idea here is that dry fasting is really pretty easy. It's pretty boring. There are some contradictions, but hardly any. Almost everybody can do these things. Start out with a short one of 3 days. So you get out of that transition from glycogen synthesis for energy into free fatty acids. If you can get that done, if you can get to that point where you can get through that transition, the rest is home free. It's just boredom. Watching movies, walking around a little bit, and going through it, getting it over, let your body heal itself. So, the whole thing about dry fasting that's scaring people is they haven't done it. Most of the people on these channels that are telling people to do dry fasting haven't done any dry fasting. So it's really hard to understand pregnancy if you've never been pregnant, Just a little thought, Anyway, so that's kind of the message today. It's not a long message, not a big message. The reason dry fasting works so well is because you go into a ketotic state. I don't know if you can hear the thunder over there. It's getting pretty loud. But yeah, it's probably the most effective way to reset your metabolism, the most effective way to end any kind of malady you currently have. the most effective way to lose weight, because you draw on your fat cells to keep you alive for free fatty acids and glycerol, so you drain your fat cells out. So if you preload with a little bit of fat, like butter and stuff like that, before you dry fast, you'll have plenty to go through to keep you alive during the dry fast. You don't go into gluconeogenesis like water fasting. I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on and on. So anyway, that's my advice today. Get the book, The Phoenix Protocol, Dry Fasting for Rapid Healing and Radical Life Extension, because that's what it does, and learn how to do this. You know, don't listen to all these other people, even me. Get a book, read how to do it so you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how to do it safely. You know, there are some little nuances to this, because you're putting yourself into a deliberate state of starvation and hydrous starvation. So in that respect, yeah, it is a medical therapy developed to cure things that medical science can't cure. And it doesn't take any medicine, it's free, and the food costs are almost zero during the week. So anyway, I'm just saying, try it, you'll like it. And you get my book, my personal email accounts in the book, so you can kind of get a hold of me if you have any big questions. But if you watch the videos below, you'll see a lot of your questions answered. I mean, my whole process from when I first started this in 2019 has been recorded online, and you can see my evolution of what I've learned and what I know now. You know, one of the bigger things is, because we don't know what the patient's state is before you go to a dry fast, go ahead and preload with some electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, that kind of stuff. And when you get done, do it again. You know, after a 5-day, it's not that important, even though I do it anyway. But these, 3-day, 5 days, it's pretty much just a work week fast that you can do and achieve, starting on Wednesday, ending on Sunday. But it's not impossible, it's not dangerous, and read the book. Seriously, read the book, find out yourself, because you want to be the expert on your body, and usually reading a book helps you do that. Anyway, I love you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe, hit the like button, pass these things along, and I should probably get back before the thunderstorms start. But I got a bunch of little bird buddies here. You can see them down there. There they are. I got my little bird buddies out here. Anyway, that's it for today. Take care. Have a nice evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.